torn up, and now I think it's because they're putting some kind of optics in or something. So we're going to kind of jump into this really quick in case I lose it again, because one of the reasons that Dr. Loudon and I wanted to do this, and I really want to tell you why I think Dr. Loudon is extraordinary. And for one, obviously, to be able to understand with such a deep meaning of what healing is automatically extraordinary to me. To understand the difference between medicating and healing, to me, is a huge thing. So that right off the bat makes you extraordinary in my heart, because our dogs don't have a lot of time with us. We don't have time to play around. Like, we need to do these things the right way the first time. But what makes you extraordinary to me is your really drive to bring the community together and help other people do what you're doing. Whether they become a veterinarian or not is kind of irrelevant. Dr. Loudon talks a lot about the need for more nutrition and how important it is. And so she brought together a bunch of amazing speakers, which we're going to talk about. And I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about this dog summit that she's doing to help. So any of you who are listening, I know we might have lost some people, but if you're back on, if you are on the fence, this is what we're going to be talking about. Dr. Loudon and I are going to push you on our side of the fence. We're going to get you off that fence and get you excited about being a part of our community in the way that you can be a part of this community. So tell us what gave you the idea to do this summit.
Well, and while you were gone, I spoke a little about it. I was saying that it took me so long to learn this stuff, and I had so much resistance to it. I took so many courses. I spent thousands and thousands of dollars on courses learning how to do this. And I was like, I'm not going to get it. And then I pushed through. I finally got it, right? And I got momentum. And then I was like, oh my God, I got to share this with as many people as I can, right? Because I don't want anyone else to, one, pay the amount of money I paid for courses. And two, I wanted to get them there faster, right? Because the dogs need us now. Yeah. And I don't want, you to be held back by imposter syndrome, thinking you can't figure it out. You and I were talking on the phone, on your way home on the car today. We both really resonated with the fact that when we first started, if you look at other people who you admire, who are doing a great job or really, really seeing results, you might think, oh, how am I going to get there? I'm so far away from that point. But you have to remember, we all have a messy middle to get to that point. Everybody. They didn't just, go to it, know how to do it, and just get success. And it took longer than I thought it would, but you have to get through that messy middle. You have to push through it and not get that imposter syndrome and let that hold you back. And I found that anytime that I was getting held back, it's because I was thinking about myself. And I lost my intention, right? My intention is not to look pretty or sound great or get likes on Facebook. It's to get a message out to save more dogs and save guardians from heartache. And so whenever I got that imposter syndrome, like, how am I going to get there? How am I going to make this work? Everyone's doing a better job than me. I would stop and say, why am I doing this? What's my why? It's worth it. I'm going to keep going. Yeah. And that's what I want to encourage because there's so many dog guardians who have so much knowledge. I have my Dog Mom Society, and we have our weekly Q&A with me, group coaching, and they teach me something every week. These parents have taken it upon themselves to learn what they needed to learn to give their dog the health that they want. And it's so impressive. And they can be selling that knowledge. And it doesn't have to be, we're all in the healer field, right? In some way or another. And a lot of us will think, well, I don't want to sell my knowledge because I'm a healer. I would just want to help. Yeah. But we deserve to live in abundance also. Yeah. And you can do both, and you deserve both. You can have a purpose and make a difference in this world, but also have abundance and rewards for it and have the life that you've dreamed of as well. Because with that abundance comes more opportunity to help a shelter, help, start your own shelter, have a nonprofit. Um, and so I think that holds our industry back a little bit because we feel salesy. We don't want to sell. We just want to give. We're givers, we're healers. But we need to get paid for our knowledge. We deserve to get paid for our knowledge. And I figured out how to do that, and I want to share that with others.
Yeah, there are so many other ways to do it. I know for me, I exactly that is something that I have always struggled with is charging for things that I do. And so how I get around it now, because that is a big part of me is I love to give things away, my knowledge and stuff. And so I just charge for the things that I do on the day to day. And like you said, I do a lot of rescue, and that is all free. That is my time. I do a lot of things for free because I charge for other things. And so you don't have to just, be that person. I think where the block is for me, the block was always if I sell it, people are going to think, oh, she's just trying to make a buck. They do that all the time in this industry. They think that about veterinarians all the time. Oh, they're just trying to sell you and make money and all of that kind of stuff. And, I mean, that may be true to some, but I think it's just because you're selling it doesn't mean that it's not something that's necessary and needed. And we have so many avenues now to do that, to monetize from certain things. And then, like you said, that also allows you to give on other aspects. So
Yeah, and you are giving so much in this business because if you're going online and you're sharing, I share so much
yep,
free information. I spend hours on a blog every week, and I don't charge anybody for that.
yep,
I send out a newsletter every week that I don't charge for.
yeah,
All of my posts are free, and you can go deeper. And then, so that's okay. And if that's all that person wants is the free stuff, good. I've served them. I've served them as much as they want me to.
yeah,
But then have something for those next level that I want to go, like my Dog Mom Society. I want to go deeper. I want access to you. Okay,
yeah,
this is what it would cost.
yeah,
And that's what they want. And they're happy to pay it. The
yeah,
next level would be something deeper, right? But you're not making anyone do anything that they don't want to do. You're serving. And if you're not selling, you're really not serving to the highest level.
yeah. So the summit is, tell us a little bit about how you have it kind of set up, because not a lot of people even know what a summit is and what all. I mean, there are some out there, but I think this is the first one I've seen that isn't specifically talking about dog health. It's not a
Right.
summit about dog health. It's a summit about how you become the expert in dog health.
Right, right. It's about the business side of things. So
Yeah.
it's some of the top leaders in the industry, and you are one of them coming on to be a
Thank you.
speaker.
That was I can't tell you how re- like rewarding. I don't know the word I want to use for it, to have somebody ask me to do that, because we talked about feeling insignificant in this. And so I have a lot of experience. And honestly, Dr. Loudon was the first person that said, hey, you want to join my summit? And I was like, me? Little old me? Okay. So
No.
yeah, which it was a big deal to be part of it. And especially alongside some of the people that you have speaking, which is, I know Michelle was on here earlier. Oh,
Michelle
geez. And Rita,
Allen.
and yeah. So tell us, like,
Yeah, so it's
how
going
it
to
goes.
be 2 days. It's virtual, and it's going to be like a conference, but it's going to be virtual, so you can just get comfortable in your own space. And we've got um, Dr. Connor Brady
Oh,
from Dogs First. He's just the nutrition expert. He's amazing. He's going to be coming on and talking about creating products or affiliating, which one would fit best for you. He's built such an amazing business around his knowledge. Michelle Allen is coming on. Everybody loves Michelle. She's from Monkey's House.
yeah,
She's created such an amazing following along with her nonprofit.
yeah,
Um, and we've got Rita Hogan, the canine herbalist, is going to come on. She's talking about setting up your coaching business.
yeah,
And Marlene Siegel, who is now one of my favorite people in the world. She's just so amazing.
I haven't met her. I'm excited. Everybody's talking about her. She's the talk of the
She's
town right now.
so awesome. She's so awesome. And I want to be her when I grow up. But she's going to be talking about how to start your online course and how that's going to elevate your reach and reach more people who need your information.
I can't
And
wait to hear that because
well,
I've been wanting to start an online course myself, so I'm
you should
so excited.
totally do it. You should
Yeah,
totally do it.
yeah,
And we've got a few more, and I'm going to be talking about email marketing and why you need that email list to build your business, and why you should think about starting a paid membership to get your tribe together right from the get go. And I have my friend from Switzerland, Noelle Feuder, who is amazing, one of my favorite people as well. She's a dog communicator, dog trainer. She has a dog training business over there. Started a Romanian shelter because she was on vacation there and saw a need for it. Like just crazy, awesome
wow.
people who
Oh,
just are making such a difference in the world. And they're going to share how they did it. And she's going to talk about mindset and the kind of mindset that we need in order to make this work and follow through on it.
yeah.
So it's going to be amazing.
I mean,
And
there's so many. If anything, I mean, you're going to see so many different. A lot of times, I hear people say, I've heard lots of people say this. I want to work with animals, but I don't know what I want to do. And then you'll hear them say, I can't be a vet, and I don't think I could be a vet tech because I just don't know that I could do that. And I don't want to be a groomer, and I'm not going to be a dog walker or a trainer. And then they think that's it. That's all there is. There's nothing else. And there is so much more that you can do. And so look at all the different backgrounds we all have, right? That you
yeah,
brought a bunch of people together. We're not all veterinarians. We're all from different aspects and managed to take a passion that we had and turn it into something that is, supporting our families and our wants and desires and needs and helping people and most importantly helping animals. I think like
yeah.
that's the
And it
biggest.
doesn't have to be so huge. I think people think, well, I'll start when I've perfected this or learned this, but start with what you know. One of my dog parents, he had a golden retriever. It was recommended that he get surgery for his cruciate tear, his ACL tear. And he found out, he was like, I want to give this a try medically first. Everyone told him it wouldn't work. And he had a system that he did, and he figured it out. And this dog is chasing balls, no lameness, no
Wow.
arthritis. And I was like, you have to teach people that. Like,
Absolutely.
people would want to learn and would love to be able to avoid surgery for their
Yeah.
dog's knee injury. And so it could just be an experience that you went through and figured something out on your own. You're like, well, I figured that out. Let me share it with someone else and help them, and let me
Yep.
get paid for it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I have one of the girls that I bring on a lot. There's a place here called the Orange County Wellness Center and Animal Wellness Center. And she had a dog, Tara's ACL, many years ago, and it got really bad. And there wasn't any rehabs available. There was no place to take him for like swimming, except I think she said she had to go like 8 hours away or something. And so, I mean, she had never worked with animals in her life ever. She just loved her dog and thought, oh my gosh, we need to do this. And so she literally she sold her house, got rid of her, cashed out her 401k, and now is running this amazing. It was very scary. And I'm sure the middle, like you talk about, the middle is messy. It was messy for her. But wow, what a difference. I mean, now she's only one of two in all of Orange County, and it's just beautiful. And she just started learning all about what to do. And it was just from an experience that she learned with her own dog and then realized it was a need.
I love that. I love that. And that's how you create a legacy, right? That's
Yeah.
how you fulfill a purpose. You help your family. You set your
Yeah.
family up with something. And I feel like when we're doing this, it doesn't have to be. It's figure outable. Like everything is figure outable, and I've learned that, I would be happier in a surgery I've never done before. I'm like, yeah, I'm happy to do that. Then figure out how to upload or look at a spreadsheet. I'd get a stomach ache, right? And I
Right.
know that sounds crazy, but you know what you know, and you're
Yeah.
comfortable in space. And I hear people all the time say, I couldn't be a vet. I couldn't have done that. Anybody can do it. I promise you that I'm not special. None of us are special. We had a mission, we had an intention, and we followed through on it. And our want might have been deeper than someone else's, right?
Yeah.
But no one is any more special than anyone else. Anyone can do anything that they really are set in their hearts to do. And if you want your online business, if you want the freedom and the life you want, I mean, I drew my house, my backyard that I have now on a vision board. I used to run in this neighborhood and I used to pretend I lived here. I used to park
Wow.
my car in the neighborhood and I used to run and be like, oh, I'm so glad. And, my husband thought I was really out of my mind. I'm like, I'm so glad I live here. And I would run and I would put it on my vision board and I would put down my address and I would imagine my kids going to these schools. And that was where I was going. And I was going to do whatever it took to get there.
Wow.
And now I'm here. I'm in this neighborhood and my backyard looks exactly like my vision board.
That's
And
so great.
and it didn't happen overnight. It wasn't easy,
Yeah.
but everything it's possible for
I always
everybody.
tell people you're the only person standing in your way. And if you don't take the very first step, then you're guaranteed to lose. You're
100%.
guaranteed to lose. So, if you want to be guaranteed to lose, then don't put these opportunities that are out there that are staring you in the face, and you're guaranteed to lose. So most people are so afraid to lose at something or fail or whatever it is, but you
That,
set your
right?
right, like you're so afraid of that, but you're guaranteeing it when you don't make those steps, when you don't jump into it. People ask me all the time, how'd you start the business? And they think that I sat down and like planned it for years on end and wrote it all out and did all of this stuff. And it's frankly not how it happened. I rolled the dice. I literally just knew it was something I wanted to do, and I just was passionate about it, and I had intention. I love that you use that word. It's a word I love too. It was my intention. Sure, it's nothing like what I had envisioned. It's gone so far different than what I had originally planned. But that's the best part of it about
Mm-hmm.
starting. Just start, because then the doors will start opening, and then you'll
Yeah.
start to see like, oh my gosh, this is available. That's what I love about the team that you put together, because it is so there's it's just going to be so great.
Yeah.
But what I want you to do is help me out a little bit, because I haven't done a summit before, and I know there's a bunch of people that'll be listening that have never signed up for one. So do they come on and then you're just like as if you were at a conference? Are you just sitting there and it just goes from speaker to speaker to speaker, or
Yeah, yep. And we do some things to keep it interactive and keep it fun and keep everybody engaged. But it'll go from one speaker and one topic to the other. There's going to be some great music and some things to get you really inspired. We'll have some breaks. And then on Sunday, we'll have a VIP lunch. We'll have some of the speakers there answering questions. And it's like you're sitting at a conference, and there's a couple of speakers that couldn't be live, so their video will come up, and that's great. They've made some amazing videos. I did one with Rachel Fusero today, and
oh,
oh my
awesome.
god, she gave such amazing tips for social media.
Yeah.
It was so
She's so
good.
great. She's so free with her information and knowledge, and she says I was a person who loved my dog,
Yep.
and look at what she's done. She's grown her own little empire over there.
YouTube following's over 500,000. I mean,
Yeah.
she's doing amazing, and she's sharing all of her secrets, and it's
Yeah.
awesome. So that's what it's going to be like. You're going to sit in front of your computer, not going to want to miss a minute, and you're going to gain all this knowledge, and then you're going to have replays so that you can go back and go over it again. Pick the section like that topic that you really want to go deep on and learn. You can go back and watch it over and over again and get moving on your dream. And
Yeah.
even if you already started a canine business, you may want to go to the next level. And this is going to help those people too.
Yeah. What about, so you said afterwards they're going to be getting a video so they can go back and look at. What about getting any, like one-on-one coaching or something like that? Is that something that anybody would be willing to do that you know of? Like, because you signed up for this, you're going to get one-on-one coaching?
Yes, and once you get to the summit, you're going to hear all about those. There's going to be some bonuses that are going to come up, and if you follow me on my Facebook, and Carrie, maybe you can share those when they come up. There's going to be some bonuses that are going to come up from the speakers that they're offering. That if you sign up, you're going to get. Some are offering a free module from one of their courses, a one-on-one. I'm going to be offering some group coaching bonus at the end that everybody will hear about. So, yeah, you can definitely go to the next level. And I have another surprise that I don't want to share with everybody yet, that you'll hear at the end of the conference or through the conference.
I'm so excited for people. I mean, just think about, I don't know how many people have signed up, but just think about, this must be how teachers feel at the end of, like, when doctors graduate. Like, look at what I've done. They're all going out into the world and they're going to save lives and stuff. And that's what you've done. Like, all these people coming to this are going to be prepared to start. God, I wish this was available when I opened my business so many years ago.
That's Marlene. We were just talking about that. I wish this was available for me too, because it would have gotten me a lot further, a lot faster.
Yeah, and the cost. I made so many mistakes.
Oh, I wasted so much money.
I know. That's what's interesting is people, like, how much is it for the summit?
It's $149 for general admission and $249 for VIP.
What is the difference between those two?
The VIP, you do get a group coaching session, a half-day session with me after the summit.
Yeah.
And you also get to go to the VIP Q&A on Sunday and ask your questions. Cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So $149. Yeah. I mean, I can't tell you how many $149 I wasted. Thousands. That's what I mean. Like, every time I was like throwing money at stuff that, I just thought was what I should do or not do, or just the mistakes I made that cost me money. Because why did I do that? I shouldn't even have done that. That just cost me a whole bunch of money, because I made so many mistakes when I opened up my business, and even the podcasting. And I know I'm going to be talking about the podcast that I started and the mistakes I made doing that.
Yeah. And that's definitely something to bring to us, because we learn more from our mistakes, right?
Absolutely.
And I spent $20,000 on one course that lasted a year about internet marketing from one of the top internet marketing experts. And I didn't get what I needed. I left there and I was like, I had so much more to learn and figure out on my own.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I want to do this, because I'm like, no, I want to give them everything. I want them to have each step along the way and not pay, $20,000 and walk away and not be much further along.
Yeah. It definitely will set you back. And the other problem too is when you don't have that guidance from people, you get discouraged a lot faster, because you can't figure out what you did wrong. You don't even know the questions to ask, right? That was my thing. Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, so I can't ask you the question because I just don't know what I'm doing. And so it was just so much trial and error for me. And driving down, back when I opened my business, we didn't have any of this kind of stuff. So I had to drive down to the city and figure out what I'm supposed to do. And it was just a nightmare. And even the podcast, like I said, when I started the podcast, it was it was just very different than it is even now. I mean, it changes so much from when I first started doing podcasting. And, but it was podcasting was a really great thing for me, which I won't give away too much either, because I know that we have so much we have to talk about, and I don't want it to be repetitive for anybody that we do have coming on. But it was a good outlet for me. Let me just tell you that. Like, it was I used to joke about how my poor husband has to listen to all the stuff. And so I had to do podcasting just to save my marriage.
That's great. I love that.
Because I could just be like, okay, I'll do a podcast on it. He doesn't have to listen to me be upset and figure out a solution and go through all the thing. I'll just do a podcast on it, and then we'll stay married. So,
I love it.
But yeah, it was really good way to get the rest of my knowledge out of my head. I had so much just piled in there that I didn't even realize I had. And I think that's the biggest thing. I'll give this little thing away about podcasting, is that people are so afraid that they won't have enough content. But if you just do your first podcast, it opens up a plethora of ideas, and that's all you have to do. Is, like I always say, just roll your dice. Just do it once, and then all of a sudden it becomes clear to you that there's plenty of content. I don't know if you experience that when you start going on Facebook and you're like, what am I going to talk about? And then all of a sudden you're like,
oh my God. And then you look around your whole day, you're like, that's content. That's content. Yep. It's like, it becomes the way you think.
Yeah. But a lot of people are scared of that. They think, oh, I won't be, what am I going to talk about? I mean, I know this part of dogs, but I don't know. Even for me, like when I first started talking, it was just pretty much just nutrition. And I mean, we did a podcast on Munchausen's by proxy. Who knew I was going to go there? Like, it never even occurred to me. I mean, I know it exists in the veterinary community. Absolutely. Because I saw it so many times, but all of a sudden I'm calling this guy who'd been on the Dr. Phil show. And he said, yeah, I'll do I'm like, really? So it just opened up so many doors. So it's going to be a great summit. And I can't thank you enough for doing this, not because I'm on it, but because this is going to bring so many more people to our community, which we were talking about on the phone, how small this community is. It needs to be huge.
It needs to be huge. And we need to uplift each other and help each other grow so that we can, help more dogs, more pets, and help more guardians, because that's all of our missions. So we can't be in competition with each other. We have to all help each other. And that's my newest goal, is to get more voices heard, make them louder, and change the way we're caring for dogs. Because if we keep on this trajectory, we're going to have to. The vets are not going to have a choice. They're going to have to learn nutrition.
Yeah.
The guardians are going to demand it. The consumer is the one who's going to change it.
Absolutely. They're going to drive it. And I don't think we're that far off from walking into your vet hospital and the vet saying, before we go any further, I want you to talk to our nutritionist. And that nutritionist will be not one put out by a big giant dog food manufacturing company. It will be an actual, we're learning about nutrition, which is stuff that is, in a weird way, when I look at nutrition, I always think, God, it's kind of common sense. Like, I know it can get deeper, but in a lot of ways, you kind of look at it and go, yeah, we probably shouldn't be eating processed food. I mean, it's like, so some of it is common sense, but it can get deeper and a better understanding. So I don't think we're too far off from that. So all the people who are kind of on the fence thinking they want to start doing nutrition and learning about how to do your business, this is just such a big beginning stage to that.
Yeah. Even if you're just learning how to feed your dog well.
Yeah.
Share it with others. Videotape you cooking for your dog. There's your content.
Yeah. You know what I thought would be really great for anybody that's listening? If you're just starting the journey, be upfront and honest with people. Hey, guys, want to learn with me? We're going to mess up, and go into that in the beginning.
Absolutely. People love that. They love that vulnerability. They want to be able to relate to you.
Yeah.
That's how you get the most followers.
Yeah.
I noticed some people in my space would talk like doctorish, right?
Yeah.
Like, no one wants that. No one wants to be told what to do, or you just have to be yourself. And that's what people really want. That's why, that's the trend now, is for us to bring people into our homes, for people to get to know us, to feel like, oh, I see how they're doing it. That's a good idea. I can relate to that. And that's going to get people to like and trust you.
Well, we as much as we rely on technology, and obviously we're talking about how you can use a lot of technology for the benefit of these animals. But I think the further we get into it, the more we do want it to be more personal. We do want, because we've lost, I think for a while we lost that. Everything became so, look at our own medical system has turned into just a number. And so now we have more and more people looking for that, just that real person that loves their animals and they're passionate about it. And you know you're passionate about it when it's the first thing you think of when you wake up in the morning. So if you're sitting there going, I don't know if this is for me, I don't know if this is what I'm going to do, the fact that you even came on to this, I'm telling you, means that you are always thinking about, the possibilities. So if you're there and you're thinking, I'm not sure if this is for me, I can tell you right now, if you came on here and read one thing, listened to one thing, if you're following me on the Spaw a lot, or Dr. Loudon, you're probably need to do this summit, is what I would say. Because I think people just are so afraid to jump into it. Now's the time.
Yeah. Now is the time. And I wasted too many years. I wish I had done it sooner. I
Yeah.
wish I had taken the leap, and I wish someone had been there to push me a
Yes.
little bit and be like, yes, you're on the right path. Because some of us, like, we share it with our family members or our friends who are like, even when you're explaining it to them, they're not going to get it. Right.
Yeah.
And they're like, what are you really doing? And
Yeah.
you're like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And then you start to talk yourself out of it. And but you need to be around like-minded people who have done it, who are doing it, who get it, to support you and keep pushing you down that path, because it's not easy if you don't have that tribe with you.
Yeah, I cannot tell you how many people when I went to school and got a degree in something totally different, but I said I was going to stop doing that and open up my business that I have now, which now we do everything. I cannot tell you how many people said, you're going to do what? You're going to go open a grooming shop. And I'm like, yeah, I am. And I'm going to do boarding and daycare and nutrition and da, 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 da. And they all look like me at me like I was a nutcase. And I got my first dog in the neighborhood. And I was fortunate at the time. I was working with a vet that was really nice. And he actually would let me take dogs from my neighborhood to his animal clinic, which was an hour and a half away from here. And I would groom them and then I would bring them back so I could kind of build business that way before I did the final,
Wow.
I have
Yeah.
no paycheck and now I own a business and I'm not going to get paid for years.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just, and I look back on that at how many people said, that's crazy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what? That doesn't make sense. And I know behind my back, they probably were like, this is the dumbest thing I ever heard anybody do. But now I actually just recently had somebody say to me, I remember I thought you were nuts. I'm like, yeah.
I do. I have the same experience, especially with colleagues. They're like, even with my information, that they trust me as an ER vet, but not to talk about nutrition, right? I'm smart enough to save their dog when they're at their sickest, but she's a little crazy when she talks about food.
Ugh,
And now some more are listening,
yeah.
not
Yeah.
all of them, but more, now that I've been doing this for a while and I'm getting more well known, then now it's not so crazy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's still a battle. I just had my cat at the vet well, people would know, maybe a year ago, I think I had to take him to the vet. It's a really long story I won't bore you with, but bottom line is she was tunnel vision and wanted it to be about the raw diet. And it had nothing to do with the raw diet at all. And I knew it didn't. And she couldn't get out of that tunnel. And so I had to tell her, unfortunately, because you're not going to find the problem because you're fixating. And if you can't look past that for a little bit, I even told her, if it comes back to that, then we'll talk. But we got to do X, Y, and Z first. And so I was going to leave with my cat because she just couldn't get out of it. But I got to say, for her, I was really happy because when I said I was going to take my cat somewhere that was more aligned with my thinking, she backpedaled a little bit. And then I gave her Dr. Connor Brady's book after it all. It turned out that my cat had a little blockage from overeating,
Mm-hmm.
a freeze-dried bag of food that he shouldn't have eaten, because he doesn't really eat freeze-dried. He eats raw. But I have some freeze-dried treats, and he ate the whole bag. And she got obsessed and thought, because his creatinine levels went up, and so she thought he had cancer. And so she
Mm-hmm.
like obsessed about cancer, and I'm like, he doesn't have cancer. I think he needs to poop. Like, just
Yeah.
so it's, but it was one of those things where you're just in it, stuck.
And
And
that goes back to what you said before about remembering that we're healers. I
yes,
think a lot of us have forgotten it in the field.
yes,
You know, you get bombarded by, and being a vet is a hard job, right? We're
yeah,
seeing cases every 15 minutes. We are seeing all these different body systems, not just one. We're seeing the sick cases, but we're also doing the dentals. We have to know cancer. We have to know ophthalmology. We have to know GI disease. And we have to know preventative care. And it's a lot. And so if I think what happened with vets was if someone came along and said, here, if it's diabetic, just feed this.
yep,
If it's hypothyroid, just do this. They're
yep,
like, oh, that's one less thing I have to worry about. But they're forgetting that actually I need to learn that because that is where the healing comes from. And we need to get vets to remember the true healer that's inside.
yeah,
And I'll admit there were times in my career so that I was so science focused on and being a better critical care doctor that I was like, wait a second, I forgot my natural healing that's inside me that I was born with. Let me come back to that. And every time I remembered that, I was a better doctor.
yeah.
And I think that's part of the thing that's going on with doctors. They're overworked. They're not getting what they need in vet school. The vet school training has to be different. But you're getting me on a whole different soapbox.
I know we could go off on that, but and that's one real quick on that, and then we'll get off that because the summit
Yeah.
is so important because we need more. But going back to nutrition, I really wish, instead of me, I don't get them so much anymore, but like 10, 12 years ago, I would get calls from vets threatening me, that I can't tell their clients this and why did I do that, and all this kind of stuff. Not so much anymore. So I definitely know there's a shift going, or I'll hear vets say stuff like, well, if he's eating that and he's doing fine, that's okay. I had one vet say to me, I asked her what her thoughts were on nutrition, and she goes, I don't care so long as the dog is happy, which really bothered me because I'm like, you should care. You should absolutely care. But at least she wasn't like, I only want him to eat hills or
And
whatever.
one really good way to know if your vet knows nutrition and is giving advice from a place of knowledge is to talk ingredients with them,
Yes,
right?
I agree.
So if
Yeah,
I say, I want you to try this prescription diet, say, can we look at the label? Can you go over the label with me? And can you let me know the ingredients? And I promise you that they don't know the ingredients.
yeah,
And if they look at the ingredients with you, they'll be surprised,
yeah.
right?
And it's such
So,
a great way to get them to think.
yeah, to be like, wait a second, let
What's
me dig
cellulose?
deeper in this. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
crazy.
No, that's a good way. That's what I was, Dr. Connor Brady's book comes in so handy for me when I leave a vet hospital. I usually will go back and leave some kind of a gift, and it's usually his book.
That's
Because,
awesome.
huh?
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, I write a note that says this is a book that has helped me in my career, and I hope it has the same effect on you as it did on me. And that's it. And I always put it in a bag like a gift because it is a gift, so that it's non-threatening. Because I don't want to walk in and just be like, "Here, read this,"
Yeah.
So I always put it in a nice bag and give it as a gift. But anyway, yeah, we're going off on that tangent because it's why we want
Feel
you
passionate about it.
but it is the why of it's
Yeah.
the why I want you to join this because we can't do this alone. We can't.
Right.
We
Need
need
more
more
voices.
people, more voices. We need in every city and every town across this country, in Canada and Mexico and wherever else, to talk about this and change the mindset and change the industry. Frankly,
Yeah, we
so
will. We will. We'll get there.
yeah. And if it makes any of you feel any better, I am on the scariest journey I have ever been in. Opening my business was not nearly as scary as what I'm doing right now. And so if I can do it, you can do it. Because I'm deathly afraid of what
But
I'm
don't you find that once you've taken the leap once, you can do it again? And even if it's a scarier leap, you're going to do it
yeah.
because you've worked that muscle, and you know that you'll figure it out. I know
Yeah.
you'll figure it out. You
I'll
will.
figure it out. And well, I think the biggest lesson for me is that, so what if I fail? What if everybody hates it? What if they laugh at me? What if they're like, that's the dumbest thing I ever saw anybody do? Someone's already done that. When I wanted to open my business, they told me it was stupid.
Mhm.
And so what? What will happen? What will happen to me?
Yeah.
Right? Like, well, I
So true. Like who and I when I started out online, I got attacked really bad
yeah,
for my comments, and it would get to me. I'd be on
yeah,
vacation with my family, and I'd look at a comment like about nutrition, and I'd be completely attacked. And then I finally got to a point where I don't care. I could
yeah,
care less what you say to me. It's
yeah,
not going to stop me. It's not
yeah,
going to change what I say. It's not going to change my message or my goals. I don't care. And
yeah.
you know what? Bring it, because I might not change your opinion, but the people that are going to read that post, because now it's popular,
Right.
will change someone else that's going to see that post. So bring it. I could
Yeah.
care
That
less.
was kind of my biggest lesson, was that when someone would attack me, and I'm super sensitive. I've said this a million times. It's one I told Rita, Mama Rita, I told Mama Rita, like, I can't do social media anymore. I'm too sensitive. I'm such a baby. And it's weird because people always think that I'm this tough girl. I'm not. I'm very sensitive. So social media, but little by little, I do, like you just said, when someone does that, it's going to get more attention. And then hopefully someone will listen to me. I did that with my Yelp reviews. Like, someone would leave me this horrible Yelp review, and I would think, "Oh my god, this is it. My life's over. Everything's ends here. My business is going down. I'm going to have to lay off 27 people. It's going to be awful." And then I just remembered that how I respond to that negativity can actually gain me so much more than what I would lose from that negativity. And so it's a lesson in being part of it, but you got to jump in. You got to do the scary stuff. You got to work that muscle. And like I said, I'm doing the most scary thing ever on Monday, so we'll see. But
I
I'm
was thinking
excited.
about that rocking chair, right? Sitting in the rocking chair when you're older, and thinking about what you didn't do
Oh,
or what you
yes.
did do,
Yep.
and taking those chances. You got to take the chances, and I
Yeah.
can't wait to see what you do with your
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
business. It's going to
It's
be awesome.
Yeah. No matter what it is, because I got to tell you, at this point, I am just proud of myself for pulling the trigger. I'm so proud of myself for pulling the trigger on something that I've been sitting on for a very long time. Like, I could tear up. I was crying this morning about it, because it's this, you get to that part where, for all of you guys that are sitting there and you're not pulling that trigger on this summit and you want to get into this, just the fact that I pulled the trigger, I can tear up over, because it's going to happen. I'm going to do it. And no matter whether it fails, or it doesn't fail, or it becomes super, super, super successful, which that's another thing. A lot of people are even afraid of the success.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what if it becomes popular and I have to work more, or I have to do this more, or I have to do, so they don't want to do it because, well, what if all these people do follow me, or, and they start to get that anxiety of, oh my gosh, what if this could be really big? You can always pull back, right?
Yeah,
So you can't be
yeah.
afraid of your successes
And
or
you
your
can always
failures.
pivot too. It doesn't have to be what you choose now, and you know that better than anyone. What you choose that you're going to sell and you're going to focus on to bring online doesn't have to be what's going to be there 3 years from
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
You do that, and then you work through it, and you learn, and you're like, wait, I want to do this a little bit more. So you pivot, like I'm doing, right? I would have never believed if someone told me 3 years ago that you're going to switch from just teaching about canine health and training to teaching internet marketing. Like, I would
that's
have been like, never would that happen, ever.
yeah,
Right. And now I'm so passionate about it. But I wouldn't have gotten here if I didn't go through the messy middle, if I didn't push through it, if I didn't learn the things I didn't think I wanted to learn at the time. And then you figure it out. And most of the internet marketers that I learned from, they've pivoted so many times. And
Yep.
it's exciting. It keeps it exciting because there's
It
always
is
something new
exciting.
to learn.
And you think too, like, who, maybe that was your path all along. And if you never opened the door to that, how sad to do that to yourself and whatever the path you're supposed to be on that's supposed to lead to someone else's path. I'm a big believer in that, you're supposed to be on a path, but it's not just because it's the path you're supposed to be on, but somebody else is supposed to meet you on that path. And if you don't get on that path, then you affect all of those people that were supposed to be on that path with you. So it's going forward and doing what you have that little pull to do is so much more than just about you. It's all of those people you'll meet along that way. I know for me, when I was in college, I took this debate team. I don't even know why I took it. I just took this debate class, and that journey has just been, it's that journey so many years ago has led me to the people that are helping me do the thing on Monday night. That's how crazy it is. Like, this is my old speech coach that I was able to contact, and I'm just dumbfounded by how I think that was the original journey all along, and I just stood in my own way. I kept humming and hawing.
Yeah.
And so,
but you also needed the knowledge that you have
right.
of canine health in
Right.
order to now be the person you need to be to make this happen, right?
Yeah. No,
and
it's
I've
exactly
that
true.
too. You
Yeah.
have to go through all of that stuff. I wanted this 10 years ago, but I wasn't the person I needed to be then.
Yeah.
Now I'm the person I need to be, and it flows, right?
Yes.
Into that flow state where you're not forcing it anymore. It just flows.
Flows.
And then okay, I'm ready. But you can't get there overnight.
No, it doesn't happen overnight. And the first step is it really is the greatest step, because that just do it. Just do it. That's what I did with this thing I'm doing. That is good. Monday is just the beginning, but all I'm saying is, just, I don't want to keep harping on it, but just get on this summit. Like, I don't know who I'm speaking to out there, but we need you. Dr. Loudon was so smart to have put this together and realize that, how do I help all these people that are just kind of on the fence? And so we do. This industry needs you. We need you. I wish Michelle, I don't know if Michelle is still there, but I can't wait for you to hear Michelle talk about her journey, and what she's done is just, it's just such an amazing story. And so I know she was there for a while, so hopefully we didn't lose too many people when I messed up. But any last minute things? I know we've been on for a while, but I don't know if there's something else you want to add, or last minute push.
Yeah, I would say just, come to, I don't know if you'll have the link you have the link on your page, right? To the sales page. You can come to Dr. Loudon on Facebook and find the link there. There is we're going to be posting, the first 10 people to register. Actually, no, we extended it. It's going to be, what's today, the 13th to the 15th. We've opened a window. We've gotten all of these sponsors.
Oh, yeah. Who's sponsoring?
We've got Adored Beast. We've got VDI, Coco
Therapy.
Yeah. And a few more that we're waiting just to finalize, that I don't want to mention yet, just to make sure. And
they're so great.
Food. So lots of great people who want to be a part of it, even though it's kind of last minute. And so we're opening it up for some really discounted tickets.
Yeah.
Until the 15th, in order to get more people there who really need to be there.
Good.
So I'll give you that link, Carrie, once it's up, and you can post it on your page, and I'll put it on my page and get you there. But
we sent out emails too. So if you are on my email list and you may not have seen it, double check your emails coming from the Spaw, because we sent out a link in our email list. So hopefully you can find it there, or you can find it on my page or Dr. Loudon's page. I'm sure Michelle has posted it. Rita's posted it. So I know you can get it everywhere. But it's definitely, I think.
And I heard a lot of people saying that, I don't have the time. right? You deserve to gift yourself this time for your future, for your family's future, for your purpose. I spent so much time wasting not getting there, right? But
Yeah.
if I had had a weekend to really hear what I needed to hear to get me on that path, I would have saved so much time.
Yeah.
So make the time. We know we can make the time. If it just depends on how important it is to you.
Yeah.
And if it's your intention to do this, to make a difference in the world of dogs, you'll do it. You'll show up. And
What are the kids?
can I just answer one thing?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Someone's asking about um, yeast in ears, and I can't get off without answering it for her.
Oh my God,
Um,
that's my favorite subject. Please do answer it.
I just want to tell her, it's not just thinking about the ears, right? When we have yeast, it's coming from within, and you have to work on the gut health. It's about diet, and that's just a secondary symptom of where the gut health is at. And usually there's an allergy, or something that your dog's eating is not agreeing with them. So I have, Carrie, I'm sure you also have stuff on this too, but I do have a whole blog on yeast at drloudon.com. And I go through all of the possible causes, all the natural ways that you can take care of it. But it's not just about treating the ears. You've got to treat the whole dog when it comes to yeast. So I
Yeah.
just wanted
No, I'm
to
glad you did. I don't know why I'm not seeing. I think it might have something to do with my internet as well, because I'm not able to get any questions. So if there were a bunch of questions that I missed, I apologize. I don't
I
know
think
what
that's
is
the
going on
only
with
one.
all of my stuff.
I
But
mean,
yeast is my favorite. That is my. It's interesting because if I ever did go to vet school, I knew I would go into emergency. That would have been my. I love that kind of an environment. I'm the best in that environment. But I'm also super passionate about skin problems and ear infections, and just like I think it's all connected together. So I'm glad you answered that question for her, because it is so frustrating for people. They spend so much time and money, not to mention the pain that the dog goes through every time he's flared up, because all they do is suppress it, and then it comes back in a couple of weeks and or months. And so
and I'm gonna. I also have a home euthanasia business, and I can't tell you how many dogs I see dying prematurely who are on these chronic meds, these Apoquel. Um, it's just heartbreaking, and their symptoms are not even controlled at the end.
yeah,
They come back worse because that body has just dealt with all of this inflammation over the years because you've hidden it. You've
yep.
hidden their external signal that something wrong is going on, and the body finally succumbs to it, whether it's succumbing to the chronic inflammation or the secondary side effects of these chronic drugs. But it makes me really sad. I see too many.
I always think it must be so frustrating for a veterinarian, I would think, to see that dog back in your office over and over and over and over. Oh, we'll just try
Well,
this drug.
that's why they do the drugs, right? Because they don't want to take the time. They want the quick fix. They want the client to be happy and not complaining about their dog itching anymore. So
Yeah,
they're like, here, take this med, take the steroid, because that's a quick fix.
yeah,
That'll keep them quiet for a while. Take the Apoquel, because that will um, work for a little while, just so that we can buy some time and have some peace and everyone's happy. But it's not worth it. Those quick fixes always have chronic results. Always.
yeah.
No such
I
thing as a quick fix for these things.
sad little quick story. Side note: I did a little event, which I never do, like little like hometown events, but I did this little event, and this woman came up to me and she had a lab, and she said, "Can I ask you a question? Do you know anything about ear infections?" And she had, a little yellow lab that was probably about 5 years old, and I go, "I know quite a bit." And she goes, "Well, before you say anything, this is my daughter. She's fourth year vet student." And I was like, "Oh, no." I don't know. And I kind of giggled and I was like, "Well, what vet school are you going to?" And she said she was going to Western, which is here in California. There's only two schools in California. Western tends to be a little bit more open-minded to these things than Davis does. So I thought, well, I'm just going to give you my 40 years of experience. That's what I'll share with you. And the daughter started to get agitated because she knew I was a believer of the raw diet, which was kind of a bummer. But the mom told her, no, if you're not willing to listen to other people's experiences. So I was proud that the mom kind of did that to her. And then she did just kind of settle down. And because she had already told her mom about this medication to use and this and that. And apparently the mom for 3 years has been listening to this work and it's not working. So I just told her about what you just said about the gut and, getting to the root of the problem. And I hope I planted a seed. I was not mean to her at all, but I really hope I gave her something to think about. But
it's all about planting those seeds, right?
Yeah. Well, I also think that vet students are the hardest to get to because they're especially getting ready to graduate. They're very like, I'm about to be a doctor and I've learned all this stuff and I've paid a lot of money and they have. And those are the hardest ones usually for me to reach. But I hope I planted a little seed for her. But I'm so glad you answered that yeast problem and I hope it helps.
And then the other question I see is Christine is asking about how to get on the email list. I don't know if she's talking about me or you, but for me, it's Christine.
I'm so sorry. I do not know why my computer's not showing me anything. I have the old stuff. So I think if you just want to.
So Christine, for me, it's just drloudon.com. You can find my email list there. Oh, she wants yours, Carrie.
Yeah, so just send over an email to the spawdogs@gmail.com and we'll send you out a link if that's easier for you to do it.
There you go.
And get you a link for it because it's going to be great. I know people come to me I think every day people ask me. I've had people ask me if I need a business partner, if they can buy into my business. Like they really want to do it, but they're scared to do it by themselves. So a lot of times they want a business partner, which is going to be my first thing to tell you, don't do that. Don't do that out of fear that you bring in that business partner and then it ends up destroying both of you. So
I've almost done that.
And we've all done it. And when you talk to people about it, they go, oh, I did it because I was just nervous. And it was nice.
No one's going to save you. No one's going to save you and no one's going to do this for you.
Yep.
You just have to be brave enough to do it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, but people come in the Spaw all the time. They're like, oh, I just want to do this. So this is your chance. We're going to teach you how.
Yes, do it.
All right. Any other questions that you see that we need to address?
No, I think we're good. We're good. Thank you, everybody.
I'm excited. I'm super excited to see you guys on, what are the dates again? June
22nd and 23rd.
June 22nd and 23rd. Now, if they sign up and they don't end up on both days, that's fine, right? They don't have to.
Yeah. I mean, live is going to be better because it is going to be a whole experience.
Right.
Because we have really fun things. But if you can't make both days, then you can watch the replay.
Right. So don't think that, you're going to miss out if you don't get to both days or maybe not the whole day and you can only get to half day or whatever the case is. So don't let that be I'm going to get rid of your excuses right now because I know that's what happens in the brain, right? You start going, well, I can't because I got that thing and no excuses. Yeah. All right. No. Well, Dr. Loudon, thank you again for being so extraordinary. I'm going to end it with saying that this was an extraordinary thing and gift. Frankly, I think it's a gift that you have given so many people this opportunity to jump on this and just, open up their lives to something they probably never even thought they could do. So you're a blessing for sure.
Thank you. I feel the same way about you. Thank you so much. I could talk to you forever.
I know. We could. So we will see you guys. I'm just going to leave it at that. We will see you on June 22nd and 23rd of this month, and we're going to see you guys live. So good luck.
Do it. Let's do it. Make the commitment.
It's great. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Carrie. Bye, everybody.